I thought I was living polygamy wrong. I thought I was a human being wrong. I thought I was a woman wrong, a wife wrong. I couldn't even have a baby, for heaven's sakes. You know, so everything about me was wrong. It was hard.
This episode was a bit sort of, I don't know how to describe it, because outside of the Meri storyline, the other three storylines could have been sort of condensed into 5 minutes. We didn't need those so many clips of Kody learning to dance. You can see that Kody dancing gives, his wife the ick, and this is why she's taking him for dance classes. Christine and David, I couldn't quite make out what their clash was about, and then her straddling him. Hey, to each their own. I'm happy that Janelle seems to be at peace and is moving on. And I'm also happy that we got to see Gabe and see that he's happy at this point in time. And finally, it's about time Meri spoke about the ring. It's about time Meri spoke about her relationship with Janelle prior to Janelle coming into the story. One thing about Janelle and Meri is, irregardless of their differences, they've always tried to sort of remain respectful towards one another, and they've avoided sort of saying anything that's controversial. Yes, there have been snippets here, there, and the other, but I think they've been more sort of poked to do that by production than anything else. Anyway, hey there, thanks for stopping by to go, Valerie. Welcome to my channel. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Sister Wives, Season 20, Episode 7. So the episode starts with Meri, and she's sort of unpacking her boxes, and she's going through the stuff that she brought with her from Flagstaff. This week, we're looking at the box that contains her wedding stuff. I feel like this was an introduction into her speaking about the melting of the ring and speaking about her relationship with Janelle prior to Janelle coming into the family. So we got to see Meri's wedding dress. She spoke about how she made it with her grandma and how she was holding on to it, not because she really had feelings for Kody, but because she had made it with her grandma, and that's where the sentiment came from. And she was saying that she doesn't think that her kid would want it, so she was going to sort of come up with an idea of what to do with the wedding dress. I'm happy she has Jen there with her. I'm happy she has someone to support her. They found a letter from Kody that he had written to her prior to their divorce, when he was a very reassuring and supportive husband. You had Christine sort of chime in and say Kody was always very good at sort of these romantic gestures. For him to then turn around and say, oh, Meri was very needy, this is why I did this. It's like he's always trying to minimize anything to do with the ex-wives. I don't know whether that's his way of scoring points with Robyn, or whether that's his coping mechanism. I didn't get it. I really didn't understand it, and I found it very disrespectful. You had Kody and Robyn go on a date. They had a dinner date, and they were sort of speaking about their kids and reconnecting with their kids, and how the kids are always coming wanting attention from Robyn, and how they're trying to create the safe space for their children. And it's like, young man, you have 18 children. You're only focused on the children that you've had with your favorite wife. You're not bothered that you have kids all over, the country. You are more focused on these kids, and the idea and the audacity to speak about this relationship and how loving and caring and safe it is for you when you have children out there that are having other children, and this is being recorded, and that next generation is going to see how badly you spoke about not only their grandparents or their grandmas, but also about their parents. And so Kody lacks the sensitivity gene. And it's sad that they try to sell themselves as this loving and caring couple with Robyn, and yet there are these moments where you see the negative stuff and you're questioning that, why can't this man see that he's damaging any further chances he has of sort of rekindling his relationships with his family? So I don't get it. You had them speak about his dancing and how awkward it was. Over the years, we've been subjected to Kody's awkward dances and how cringy it can be at times. So I get why Robyn is saying, oh, I think we need dance classes. But it seems she's trying to sort of contort him into the man that she wants, not allowing this man to be himself. And sadly, because he is so smitten and hopelessly in love, he's going to put up with it and try and change to make her happy. You have Janelle in North Carolina. She's with the kids. She's got Savannah, Gabriel, Peyton, Maddie, and Maddie's husband, Caleb. And so they're just having conversations about the fact that, Peyton is now dating. He was about to go and see his girl, and the others were teasing him and saying, oh, you're going to start dating now? Is this what you're going to do? And then it came up that Gabe is also dating. He's dating someone who lives in Chicago and is thinking of moving there to be with his girlfriend. And so it seems they've been dating for a while, and he really seems very happy. Gabe really seems very happy. And so I love this for him, because I think there was a time that a lot of viewers were worried for him, especially when they were having issues with his dad and the fact that he found his brother deceased. And then, he had to go through that. And so I'm happy that he's at a space of peace and a space of calm, and hopefully he can move on. Sadly, it seems Janelle was saying that Kody is not aware that, Maddie is pregnant, and they haven't spoken for 3 years. So I don't know how this man can continue to sort of try and play happy families when his other family is not included. We had Jen read the letter. It was a very reassuring and very caring letter. This is why Meri was saying that she is offended when Kody goes around and says he never loved her, when there are things like this that are evidence that he did love her, and he did make the efforts to reassure her and make her feel a part of the family, and make her feel cherished and wanted. I feel like Meri, when she started the family with Kody, knew exactly what they wanted, because they both said, well, Meri said when they got married, they knew that they were going to be polygamists. So they were going to bring in other people into the family. But then she struggled for quite a while with that concept of somebody else coming in, because I think Kody had given her this fairy tale. And so the idea that somebody else was going to come in and probably take that away from her must have been the reason for her insecurities. And so for Kody to sort of try and minimize that and make it seem like, it was nothing, I didn't like it. Meri spoke about her relationship with Janelle and how she knew Janelle prior to getting married to Kody. Janelle was married to her brother for 1.5 years. This is information that is out there. And one thing we can say about Meri, I know people say she was horrible to the other kids, she was this, that, and the other. She has never said anything derogatory about her sort of sister wives or former sister wives and their children on camera, and that I have to give her credit for. So there was a conversation with Meri sort of saying that, she knew Janelle before she got married. Before Janelle married Kody, she was married to her brother. And then when she came into the family, she really tried to make Meri feel as comfortable as possible. But Meri was jealous because Meri was struggling. She was in this marriage for years. She couldn't have children for the man she had married. And now somebody else came in. And so I get why there was a lot of tension at the start. It wasn't just another woman coming in, but it was another woman coming in, a woman that she knew, a woman who was able to give her husband something that she was struggling to give her husband. So I get where the jealousy came from, and I understand sort of what could have caused all the tension in the beginning. We have Christine and David. Christine and David apparently argued. It seems David is constantly keeping in touch with Christine's children, just as he does with his own. So there was a back and forth about, I couldn't quite make out what they were saying. It seems Peyton had a conversation with David about his dating life, and whether the way he spoke to David, Christine didn't agree with it. So they clashed over that. And they were trying not to sort of dissect it on camera, because I think they don't want to show the flaws in their marriage. I think this is something that they've agreed on, that they'll always present a united front. And so for them to clash over that didn't make sense. Couples are always going to clash. Christine was saying David likes to, to stir the pot, and he likes to sort of wind her up and sort of make her upset over things, or sort of get a reaction for her or a rise from her for things that are really petty. And he says, he just likes the back and forth. He likes the conversation. He likes to get to know his partner better. At the end of the day, she understands the man that she married and she's happy with him. That's it. We then have Kody and Robyn go for a dance class. I was pleasantly surprised with the dance instructor. I think it must have been a request on Robyn's part that she didn't want people that were very or overly sexual. I think Kody didn't want a man that would sort of present as a challenge to him. But I was surprised that the guy was actually good or knew what he was doing. Yes, they did teach them certain dances, but I just found it all awkward. I don't even know why we had to watch that. You had the otherwise, speak about Kody and the style of dance and how they had just accepted him for who he was. Sadly, Robyn wasn't doing the same. Janelle sat down with Maddie and Caleb, and they were sort of talking about the birth plan with Savannah in regards who was going to take Maddie to hospital if Caleb wasn't there, and how they were going to navigate the other three children in the household because Maddie still had three other children in the house that would need to be taken care of. And so it was nice to see Evie at the table, sort of be a part of the conversation, and them sort of explaining to her what was going to happen, who was going to stay with her, where the mom was going to go. So I found that very insightful. I really love the conversation, and I really love the involvement that you had with her. I'm happy that Meri finally got a chance to talk about the ring because it seems Kody was given a ring by Meri when they got married, and then eventually he decided to melt part of it and give it to the girls, and then he kept the other part of the ring. Eventually, Meri was able to sort of get him to sort of make a necklace for her, it seems he told her that he didn't want her to have claim over him, and it's like, well, by having the legal marriage first, she had claim over him irregardless of whether there was a ring or not. Kody, I think, loved his wives until they got to a certain age, and then he sort of decided to start looking elsewhere, and he got the young shiny thing in Robyn. And so I'm happy that Meri, although this conversation came up without her sort of wanting it to come up, Christine brought it up at the tell-all. So I'm happy she got this chance to sort of speak on that. You then had Maddie sort of packing her go bag for, when she goes into labor. They were just having a conversation. Janelle brought it up that Kody, she doesn't even know if he knows that, Maddie is pregnant because they haven't spoken for 3 years. So he might not know that she's about to have her fourth child. And it's really sad that, he's not involved. You had her son Axel complaining that he's having another sister. It seems he was happy that they were having another child up until he found out about the gender. Then things went left for him. But I love the fact that, Maddie and Caleb seem to be a very happy family, regardless of Caleb's health issues. I think he's got some sort of kidney disease or whatever. I haven't followed up on that. I think I came across it on TikTok. But it seems they've created a family for themselves. And because their mother was going through whatever she was going through with their dad, they've managed to sort of bring her into the fold. And she seems at peace and very settled. Janelle, I remember her saying, being around the grandkids has really helped her with her grief. So I'm happy that they are creating this family away, or they have life after Flagstaff. Christine and David then had a conversation where they spoke about polygamy. And David was saying, from his point of view, polygamy is about control because women are punished for not doing what their husbands want. And he feels that that's a form of control. Janelle wasn't too happy about it, that, that's his point of view. He can't sort of put a broad brush on that. Meri was very political, as she always is, but Christine sided with her husband and said, yes, it is about control. I think Kody used polygamy as a form of control, as a way of getting financial support from the OG3 and getting them to do whatever he wanted, because he always had issues with them and always punished them for whatever they did wrong. But we've never heard him punish Robyn, and it makes me question why. Is he afraid that if he punishes Robyn, she's going to leave him, or what? I didn't quite get that. And so it seems this is something the family will have to agree to disagree, because people have different issues with it. Yes, there was the conversation about jealousy. Meri spoke about how, yes, it is common to be jealous. She was jealous because of the fact that she couldn't understand her role in the family and how, she could sort of still be valued as a member of the family despite her shortcomings. We had Janelle sort of talk about her view of polygamy. And then Christine, I think she and David had been fighting. I think they had a clash. They must have made up, but production must have come towards the very tail end of the fight. And so they decided to bring it in as part of a storyline. And so for Christine to go and straddle her husband and start kissing her husband, Christine at times does a bit too much, I think. Yes, she's happy, she's in love, but I think at times she does a bit too much. But that's just my opinion. This dance class for Kody and Robyn, it proceeded for way too long. We could have had 5 seconds of it, and that was enough. For Kody to say he's struggling to catch the moves, Robyn wants to be the star in that family. That's the impression that I get. Kody wants to be the star in the family. And so because they both want to be stars, they struggle to work as a team. Because when Kody was struggling with his moves, all she needed to do was just help him sort of learn the moves and sort of put herself in the background. But Robyn couldn't do that because she wanted to be the star. So it's really sad to see Kody's relationship with Robyn in something that he really loved as compared to the other OG3. But hey, that's it. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Click on the link in my video to watch my review from episode 6. Bye everyone.